All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Southgate Parks and Recreation Committee regular meeting agenda, May 8th, 2025, 7 p.m. We can start with a call to order, please. Flag salute. Ms. Escobar, would you please lead us in the flag salute?
Of course. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Can we have a roll call, please?
Chair Flores,
Present.
Vice Chair Lizette has an unexcused absence.
Oh, here she is.
Okay,
Here he is.
Nice.
okay, Vice Chair Lizette Reese is late. Secretary Escobar,
Present.
Commissioner Pelayo.
Present.
Pursuant to Government Code Section 54952.3, compensation for monthly attendance by the Parks and Recreation Commissioners is $75 per monthly meeting. I, Ana Medina, Executive Assistant, certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing meeting agenda was properly posted on May 1st, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. as required by law.
Okay, thank you. So we had no minutes from last meeting, right? Okay, no meeting. Okay, so at this time, we'll open up the floor to public comment. Okay, we have one person here.
Chingus Dominguez, resident of Southgate. So I got a story for the commissioner. So at the last city council meeting, I was handing out some flyers to the residents, and I make my way over to the left side of the room where I normally sit, and I see a fellow there sitting there with a ball cap and glasses. Like, oh, let me talk to this guy and give him this flyer here. And then as I hear his voice, I'm making the calculations in my mind. I'm like, wait a second, I know this voice. What is it? Are you Thomas Buckley? And he looks at me and says, yes, I am. Well, I said, well, hello, Mr. Buckley. Nice to finally meet you. So I wanted to give him some information regarding this Metro Long Beach East LA Corridor Mobility Investment Plan. I asked him if he could give me an hour of his time and to, for him to be in front of his computer. The next day, the guy calls me, and I had him on the phone for 4.5 to 5 hours. And we just took our time just discussing these projects that I'm pursuing with Metro and the LA County Board of Supervisors and city matters. And I said, but when he was seated here in the city council room, he said to me straight to my face, he said, I don't do advocacy. I don't do that. And so when we got on, when we're talking, I said, look, let me send you the link for the park survey so you could put it on that Facebook group of yours, Southgate Police Scanner. And to make a long story short, he ends up not doing it. And he sends me a response. His response was, hi there, Mario. Thank you for the information. Unfortunately, we do not advocate for city projects, etc., nor conduct surveys. We're a very neutral page in this regard. Keep up the good fight with the council members and the officials here in the city, as they're the only ones who can affect change for this. You and I most certainly have our grievances with them. Thank you, Mario. Tom. So you heard the expression self-serving prick. That's what this man is. He truly is a self-serving prick. A week after this, I then sent him the link for the Metro Long Beach East LA Corridor Mobility Investment Plan to show him the, it has the 2-hour Zoom meeting. And I wanted him to do the presentation that Metro did to inform the residents of this corridor mobility investment plan. So to inform the residents, make them aware of this. And again, I didn't get any response this time. So, he says he cares about the people, he cares about our city. His heart may be in the right place, but his head is up his ass. And I just think it's very hypocritical for him. The one thing that he did say to me that was good was, he said, look, the next time there's a big meeting, just send me the link and I'll make that available. I'm going to hold him to that. I'm going to send him the link if there's another big Metro Zoom meeting. But I just think that's a scumbag move on his part to not at least share the park survey with the folks in town. And I hope the commissioners are emailing that link out to other folks in town to make them aware. And yeah, just wanted to share this with you that, yeah, Thomas Chicken Shit Buckley II is truly a self-serving prick. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other public comments? Okay, no other public comments. We'll close that portion at this time. Presentations, we have none. So we'll move on to open session items. First up, aquatic summer program review.
Good evening. Tonight, we actually have our aquatics supervisor here to share the summary. So let me call up Leslie to share with you the aquatic report.
Thank you, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
Turn the mic.
It's on.
Pull it down towards
Put
you
it
so we
down.
can hear better.
Can't hear you.
I'm short. Okay. So the aquatics division is proud to report that we had another successful year from summer 2004 to this spring. The period was marked by an increased community participation, program innovation, and improved safety protocols, as well as strong staff development. So as you can imagine, summer is our busiest season. We saw an actual 20% increase in our enrollment for our programs. More than 2,800 individuals participated in those programs. We also had specialized aquatic programs to include our summer splash camp for kids, which grew about 20% in participation. We had close to 100 participants for that program. Our Learn to Swim program, which is actually a year-round program, it was at full capacity every month. That program includes our private, semi-private, and group lessons for ages 6 months and up. We also had sport programs like junior water polo, junior lifeguard, surfing 101, and Gator Swim Academy. We year-round host 3 swim teams, one being our partner organization, Southgate Aqua Coalition, the other ones being Penguins Aquatic Club and Linwood Marlins. We provided in that season 250 hours of practice time, and it averaged about 200 kids. In the summer, we typically expand our hours, and so we were able to bring back seasonal aquatic fitness classes, as well as keep our year-round fitness and therapy classes. We had senior size, aqua aerobics, we had master swim, and our very popular open play water polo, as well as the addition of Aqua Blast. With that, we were able to host our first ever aquatics fitness expo. We're actually having the second one this Saturday, and we invite you to come to that too. But for in that first one, that's when we launched the Splash Fitness membership, trying to make it economical for our community to participate in our aquatic fitness classes. Other things that we highlight in summer are our party rentals. We're really popular on the weekends for private parties. We were able to host about 20 last summer. We also had a bunch of free events, including our World's Largest Swimming Lesson, and then 3 community swim day series. In the fall, we kept our Learn to Swim program, but we also brought back the pre-competitive swim class. That is the best feeder program that we have into the swim teams. We also continue to provide pool time to all of our competitive swim teams. And then we brought back the South Central Swim League's Fall League. That's about a 6 months per league meet. And we host about 6 local swim teams and 400 local competitive swimmers and 600 spectators per meet. It's also kind of great for the Southgate team because it serves as a fundraiser for them as well. Other things that I want to highlight in the winter season, typically, right, you would think that the pool slows down, but we were able to sustain solid performance. We continue with our water fitness and therapeutic classes, offering almost 80 sessions in that quarter. We also had the South Central Swim League's Winter League. In that one, we also had 3 USA swimming meets, including the prestigious WAG Last Ditch Qualifier 2-day meet. It was the first time we've ever hosted that meet, so it was pretty awesome. We had about 800 swimmers for that meet and about 1,500 spectators. So that is a super point of pride for us. Also, pretty exciting in the winter, we're able to actually kind of sit down and think and see like what we did that was really well in the past year and what needs improvement. And with that also means with our staff training. And so we were able to host 1 lifeguard certification course and our senior lifeguard training / mentorship program. We had about 8 participants in that program, and we're happy to report that we're promoting 6 into senior lifeguard positions. We were also able to certify more than 50 staff members in what's called mandated reporter training. And then we also held some CPR classes as well.
And then, of course, right, it starts to pick up in the spring again. So in March, in winter, we take a break from the swim lessons. In March, they start all over again. But what was kind of cool this year, too, is we launched a new program called the Youth and Adult Swim Clinic. So kind of trying to get people like ready for the Learn to Swim year. But also a lot of times people are not interested necessarily in the traditional swim lesson route. They just want to know how to like survive in the water, right? If they go to the beach or they go to a pool party. And so the focus of that program is more on water competency than the traditional Learn to Swim program. We had over 20 participants in that program, and we had a lot of interest in having one for summer, which is something that we're working on now. In addition to that, again, we were able to offer some CPR classes, some more lifeguard certification courses. We're actually offering a few CPR classes in May. So we have 2 coming up, May 24th and May 25th, and then we are currently in a lifeguard certification course now. What else? We also, this was pretty exciting. Southeast High School came back this year. Today was actually their last day of practice for spring, and they actually qualified for CIF. So again, that was very, very exciting for us to be able to say, like, we helped them on that journey. South Central Swim League Spring League is also in action right now. We have another swim meet coming up next Saturday. And then a special a highlight for us was our first ever Easter Splash Fest, which we weren't sure exactly what kind of interest was going to be garnered for that, but in the end, it actually sold out at 250 participants. We did a egg hunt inside the water and also outside in our grass area. And then we were also sponsored by Canes, and so they were present and they were giving out lemonade, and we gave out goodie bags. So it was a pretty cool event for us to have. Something that's special right now in May is it's designated as National Water Safety Month with International Water Safety Day on May 15th. And then we're actually hosting an event next Saturday, the Water Safety Bash, which was kind of cool. We came up with it during COVID, and it's changed every year since then. Our very first year was a drive-through event. It's developed now. This year we're having different stations where people can participate and learn about, again, water competency and other things. And I actually have some goodie bags for you guys to help promote that event. And then a couple weeks ago, we were here during council meeting, and council was gracious enough to proclaim that May is the National Water Safety Month. So that is hanging right now in our facility. And then just getting ready for a very busy upcoming summer season.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any comments?
How are we with lifeguards? You mentioned that there were some openings. Are we adequately staffed or are we short-staffed?
So interestingly enough, there was a national lifeguard shortage back during COVID. We were actually very, very lucky that we did very well actually through all that. We were one of the only facilities that stayed open, and when swim lessons were deemed essential, we were able to be the first facility to open up. Unfortunately, a lot of that staff is now graduating high school and college and moving on, and we're having some trouble attracting new staff. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize they were all that young.
Yeah. Yeah. We hire as early as 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of them work through high school and throughout college. And then I actually have a pretty slow turnover rate, which I'm really grateful for. It's about anywhere from 4 to 8 years when it comes to the lifeguards. And when it comes to the supervising lifeguards, I've had one there as long as 14 years.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thanks for the report. You mentioned that you guys sort of reviewed what you guys had done in the past, and from there you provided some training to some of the lifeguards. Regarding, let's say, some other areas, let's say facilities and programming that you have available, were there any reflections on that? And can you provide some comments in terms of what adjustments were made and what you guys did, basically?
Yeah, so customer service is really big for us. We're kind of known as being fun killers because we have to enforce so many safety rules. And so we're consistently training on being able to courteously and professionally enforce rules. So a lot of our trainings were involving basically customer service. When it comes to programming, it has been very interesting. Like I said, our staff is very, very young as 16 years old. And so it takes a really long time not only to train them in how to be confident in their own skills, but also how to sometimes, teach adults. And so we've been working on a lot of our adult swim lesson programs, but also adaptive aquatics is something that has been very challenging for us. Unfortunately, I have not found yet an organization that can come and properly train our staff. We do have a lot of special needs patrons in our programs. All of our programs are inclusive, but it would be awesome if we could actually launch a program that's a little bit more specialized in that to be able to, properly serve.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and just regarding, I know that the Parks and Rec Department has had a survey that has gone out, and I think Mr. Dominguez touched on that earlier. How have you guys implemented that within the swim stadium?
So we put it out the last month ago, right? So we've received about 130 responses. So I've been going through that this week. We had on our calendar May 1st as the date to not close it off, but like a soft, just for internally,
Mhm.
so we can start looking at things. So I've been going through it just to see where we're at, and then we're gonna try and keep it open for throughout the summer just to see how many more responses we can get. So we haven't yet implemented some of the things from it because we're still receiving them.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I see that you guys had something, it says, I think, 30,000 visits. I mean, that's a lot of people that we can potentially get to respond to this survey. And I think it'd be a good idea, just like we mentioned before, maybe put up a QR code somewhere so that
we
as
we,
they come in,
we do have the
um,
QR codes at all the facilities. We put them up at our special events. So even like Easter, we had that was probably
Nice.
like 15 of them spread out throughout the
Mm.
event. So we are trying our best to get it out there, and I think they even got emailed, I believe, to all of our members. and
Oh,
stuff.
great.
So,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, I mean, again, because you have such big numbers and a lot of people attend, I think that's an opportunity there to be able to get some feedback to, just improve in general, any programming or anything that has to do with either staff, facilities, or the programming itself. So, okay. Thank you.
With that, just so you know, there's probably more opportunities on the other side than in the swim side, only because electronics and swimming don't mix, so you don't bring your phone to
Sure.
do that a lot, so you're not getting quite as many as you think.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We don't want anyone carrying their phone and damaging it, right? But yeah, the email, I think, of people who do attend the swim stadium, I believe you guys may have a database, people who attend your programming. So that would just, again, be a great opportunity for that. But yeah, I think that's, oh yeah, one last question. The Penguins Club,
Mhm.
it's the first time that I see that. Is that from another city, or is that like a junior?
So we have one partner organization, which is Southgate Aqua Coalition, and then the other two are private teams.
Oh.
One is from the city of Linwood, and the other one is a privately owned team.
Oh, okay.
So they're both paying teams.
All right. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Any other comments? Cynthia? Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate your time here. The programs are great. We hear so many good things coming out from the aquatic department and the swim stadium. So keep up the good work. If you need any assistance, I do have the Southgate, you're from Southgate page. Feel free to post on there any events that are going on, any advertising you want to get out. There's probably 15,000 members on there that we can get to. So please feel free to use that page. It has to get approved, so I'll definitely approve that as soon as it comes through. Okay.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yep. Okay. Can I get a motion to receive and file?
A motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. Number 2, third quarter review of recreational programs fiscal year 2024-25.
Grounds maintenance, right? Okay.
Yes, grounds.
Good evening, Commissioners. During the third quarter, or during this current quarter, staff planted 60 azaleas at the Azalea Garden adjacent to the Senior Citizens Building. Tree trimming was completed at Hollydale Regional Park. One of the other things they forgot to put in here was that we also, with the remaining funds of tree monies, we did a little extra trim around the north and south playground trees, especially the large trees. Some of them were getting a little heavy. Baseball diamonds, soccer fields were renovated at all parks during this quarter. 3 French drains were installed behind baseball diamond number 9 at Southgate Park to improve drainage and dry the soil in the surrounding area. We reseeded the adjacent turf, added decomposed granite, especially around the paths of travel, because there were no defined paths of travel behind diamond number 9, and they added a boulder to beautify the area. Um, Okay, staff completed the renovation of decomposed granite pathways and improved the turf at West Side area parks, State Street Park, Cesar Chavez Park. So that consists of mowing the turf low, inspecting and repairing irrigation systems, and reseeding as needed. Staff also assisted the police department with the cleanup and removal of several homeless encampments on the West Side area parks this quarter. We hosted the Azalea Car Show at the golf course, setting up the showmobile. Monthly food giveaways continue at Hollywood Community and Regional Park. As far as park facility maintenance staff, we hosted a variety of events during the Azalea Festival. Staff continue to do the third daily inspection and cleaning at the outside restrooms. And we've increased our pressure washing, especially around playground areas. Disinfecting and cleaning tools are consistently used. What else? Oh, we got a new park facility maintenance worker on our team. He's assigned to the weekends. He's been a great asset. Privacy walls, as I stated in the last month, were installed in the outdoor restrooms at State Street Park at Cesar Chavez, kind of just to exclude people from staying inside the restroom. And let's see, schedules have been adjusted for facility staff to accommodate all the new and, well, the changing cover classes. And our community service worker program is ongoing. We take 15 people maximum per day. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. So just to revise, so this was our third quarter review of the grounds and facility maintenance, fiscal year 24-25. It's backwards on the yellow flyer, so just to reiterate that we're on grounds and facility maintenance right now. Any comments from our commissioners?
Just that I appreciate the park staff. I regularly report things that I see at the parks, especially at the playgrounds, and they get fixed right away. So I really appreciate that. And even with some of the park playground equipment, I've noticed it taken care of or made safe right away. So definitely kudos to the staff. The tagging is ongoing and you guys are on it.
Yeah, thank you very much for sending those. I receive those whenever you send them.
Okay.
When it's parks related, I'm the first one to receive them, and then the grounds facility supervisor. So I quickly forward those over to our public works maintenance staff so that they can get rid of it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but everything looks really good, and I'm really grateful for that. The just even during Earth Day, it was really great. Getting to plant some more trees and seeing the ones from last year thrive. The question I had was about the auditorium stove, and it might not even have to deal with you guys, but I was kind of confused. I'm part of the Kiwanis, and we hosted a teacher and police and firefighter appreciation day, and during our walkthrough, they brought up the stove in the kitchen area being left on. Is there a malfunction with it, or
No, the pilot lights. It's a commercial.
pilot?
It's a
Or
commercial
so
stove,
it's common
and it's common to the pilots are always lit.
because of the smell, or what?
No, it's just that's how commercial stoves work.
Oh,
Your typical, if you have a pilot light, like the old ovens, you didn't see it unless you lifted up the cover, and you
Right.
had pilot lights lit all the
Yeah.
time underneath there.
Yeah.
so it's the same. Oh, I didn't
Same
realize
concept,
that.
but this is open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
See, the other thing is most manufacturers these days make the electric ones, and so that's what we've all been accustomed to. It's hard to find the
Oh.
old style from back in 20 years ago that, where they had the pilot light underneath the metal plate.
Yeah, I didn't catch what they said, so I didn't know that was common.
It's common.
But- No, but even during that event, the park staff was really accommodating
Thank you.
and work with us. So it's really great to have such responsive and staff that's on it and accommodates all these events. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll let staff know.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I actually have a question. Maybe about a month ago or so, I was walking at the park and I noticed that one of the volleyball courts, the post was bent.
Yes. the
Do
work
you
order
know
was-
why that is?
No, well, vandalism, I would suppose. But staff have, Public Works staff were out there this week repairing it.
Okay, so it's pretty much ready to go, huh? Or not
They
yet?
put a new net up.
No,
so-
new nets were put on it yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
on today. I saw them.
Just like
Yeah,
anything
'cause
else around the park.
I saw it and I was like, wow, that must take some strength to pull it out of the ground. Either
Yeah.
someone or a few people maybe got on it, or I was thinking maybe even a car or something, so.
My thought
Uh,
was somebody tried to lower the net,
mm.
lower the net. And so push the pole down, lower the net.
Yeah, well, that's a possibility.
It's been repaired,
All right, cool. Thank you. That's pretty much it.
certainly.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, Len, thank you.
Certainly.
I know some of the events you've been putting on, your team is always on it. I mean, I swear, it's like nothing happened 15 minutes after the event ends.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate that. I know summer's coming, so you have a lot
Yes.
of work, your work cut out for you. So
You're going to see
Um,
fewer projects. You're going to see staff concentrating more on keeping the grass green and more so just maintenance.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of events going on,
Oh, yeah.
summer events. So yeah, definitely thank you for that.
Certainly.
If there's no other comments, again, this is item number 2, grounds and facility maintenance. Do I have a motion to receive and file?
A motion.
Second term.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Okay, so number 3, we have third quarter review of Parks and Rec programs, fiscal year 2024-25.
Okay, so we'll give the report. I'll start off with fitness since Leslie already gave her her dissertation on aquatics. We'll start off with sports and we'll talk about the annual open house that took place in January. And basically it was abbreviated group exercise classes, event promotions, giveaways, basically family-friendly activities. They also had a vendor fair, which was new this year. And they had Raising Cane's and Celsius and a couple other groups out there. And then the JAA showcased their basketball league. And then we were able to showcase our new toy, which is the T-shirt cannon gun thing and shooting them out to the crowd. And it was just fun. And then some, halftime show games and activities for the kids. So it was just a lot of fun. And then youth sports, they had their spring season that opened up and they had a record enrollment. So they had just, an abundance of kids who registered for those classes. And then one of a major highlight for us was that it was the first time we ever do, or maybe in a long time, I'm not sure, but since I've been here, first time that we do a field trip, so to speak, for the youth sports, or really anybody, but kind of targeted toward our sports kids. So they did a field trip to the Galen Center at USC, and they got to see the women's game of UCLA, which was number 1, and USC was number 4 at the time. And so it was a good experience, especially for some of the female athletes to see, usually it's always like, we're going to Dodger game, we're going somewhere, it's always the men. So it was good, kind of good experience for some of the young female athletes to see what just dream big, right? So that's kind of cool. And then on the March 24th, we hosted the karate tournament and I welcomed 190 athletes and 550 spectators. And there were participants from Ecuador, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and across Southern California. And then social media, we now have 6,832 followers. Yay! So we're growing, and more exciting than that is the fact that we hired on our marketing coordinator, Karina Reyes, and she started last Monday, so it's her second week here with us. And so she's catching on pretty quickly. So we're looking at big things for our department moving forward regarding social media and posts and all that stuff, and just flyers and things. As far as special events go, we had our Ties and Tiaras that was held in January. And that was basically like a father-daughter or a male figure that showed up to the event. They served chicken fettuccine Alfredo and salad. They had a dance. They did a little special gift for the father, a male figure, and as well as the daughter, the little girl who's there. So everybody seemed to really enjoy it. It was everybody dressed for the occasion and came in a formal attire. So that was actually kind of nice. And it was really cute. If you're able to see any of the videos or pictures on social media, It was really cool to see. And then for Easter Fest 2025, no mishaps with the weather this year. We're able to be outdoors, and you'll see a lot of different enhancements from the past. We brought out the showmobile and just had a bunch of games at the stage, and it was quite the spectacle in comparison to before, where it was just a little bit more mellow and just had some boost up. You definitely knew that there was an event going on there. And then we're just excited to host our first ever adult egg hunt with all the crazy adults out there. I know it was fun. Cynthia actually, I think, was a golden egg winner. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't. But no, it was a lot of fun out there just watching the adults act like kids. And then for our senior center, their excursions that they have, this last round was Palm Springs Aerial Tram, Harris Casino, the Museum of Neon, the Huntington Library, and those trips traditionally fill up every single time, or just about fill up every single time. So we're just glad that the community is enjoying those and taking advantage of those opportunities. And then in February they had the Valentine's Day dance. So it's they had a DJ, a jewelry maker, raffles. They did a whole party, and it was kind of like the start to their social season. So they honored the couple that had been married the longest and stuff like that. And then in March, they went ahead and did their St. Patrick's Day party, and they had, again, another dance floor. They had live karaoke. And that's actually something they do every Thursday is karaoke. And that's a big deal for our seniors. So if you ever want to check it out, just stop by. Yeah, that's the report. Any questions?
Okay, thank you very much, Tina. Any comments, commissioners?
I actually have a question. So the Easter Fest was amazing. It was fun. It was much bigger than obviously it grows every year. So it was really good. It's much more organized. Everything was signed. Everything had, labels, and that was great. Only question that I did hear a couple, just overhearing, because we had our kids in the play area, but you had to have like a wristband for 2-year-olds, right? I think that the age was 2, right? Right?
Or there was a soft play area that was like 6 months, stuff like that. They had the little soft play area, and then there was the other ones that were all of the jumpers and the activity. A lot of the
Right,
activities.
the jumpers, right?
Yeah, they were geared towards specific ages, just
Right.
because sometimes when you put the little ones
Which was
and the
great.
older ones, one, they get hurt,
You were
or
exactly.
two, they take forever to go through it, and the line is just getting longer and longer as kids wait because the 2-year-old's trying to get through the obstacle course that they
Right.
can't get over.
So just to confirm, the area that was there for the like the foam area,
The soft play.
right? The soft play.
Yes.
What age was that?
So that was like 6 months to 2 years in that age range.
Because they didn't let them in without a wristband.
Oh, really?
Yes, and our kids had the wristband, and then I was hearing other ones that like they were like, "What about walkers?" And then I think I brought it up to Steve too, and I was just like, but the guy did tell him like, "No, you have to have a wristband," and they're like, "No, but he's not gonna play in the he's not gonna go for the Easter either."
Right. You just, yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, you need the band." I'm like, "Oh." So the kids were just standing there, and I was just like, "Oh." So that's what my question was, like, for that soft area, like
Right.
the,
It shouldn't have been.
Oh.
It was for just the little ones. It was anybody
Yeah.
up to
two or
up
something.
to that like 2-year-old age, because at 2 you can go
Yeah.
to the little kid.
And I
jumpers.
thought so. That's why I had asked Steve. I was like, "Is it for that?" And they're like, "No, the wristband." And I was like, "Okay,"
No.
but Steve was like,
He
everything,
may have had a misunderstanding of what we
maybe,
told him.
yeah.
I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
if myself or Nikki would have been informed, we would have went over there and but
I
sorry,
should,
even though-
I
Yeah.
should have asked. I mean, I did ask, but
Yeah, because we didn't want the older ones on there. That's why we had.
No, and
just the
granted, I
little
didn't.
ones.
I didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't asking for older kids. They were asking for
Just the
like
little
the
ones.
walkers, like
Yeah.
age. And then he's like, "Yeah," he was very like, "No, you have to have a band." And I was like, "Oh."
Okay,
I
you
mean,
probably had a misunderstanding from what we had told
Yeah.
him, but
And then I was gonna say maybe we could do something for the walkers that are not gonna participate in the
Right.
Easter Fest, and just
Right.
want to play. But
Yeah.
if that was the case, then
Yeah.
it was a misunderstanding.
yeah, I think that's
Right.
what it
Okay. That
yeah,
was
I
just
wasn't
it.
aware. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll work on that for next year.
Okay. I just wanted to ask about the whole maybe we should do the other group. But no, if it was that, then
Yeah.
we're good. Thank you. But everything went well. Everything was on time. It didn't run late. Everything was great.
I think the only mishap that I think it was there was that initially the little age group that did the egg hunt,
Uh-huh.
they couldn't hear if they were standing in the area where the snow cones were at or the photo booth was at. The
Mm,
speakers weren't turned enough, so you couldn't hear the announcement. So we had the signs and we had everything posted,
I saw.
but
I
if
saw.
if you weren't paying attention to the time or when you got there, some people missed it. So we had some people who came later on. So we did allow that first age group to participate in the second
Yeah.
age group because I realized that, you know what, and that's when, at that point, we got the speakers and we turned them to make sure that everybody, wherever you were at, could hear what was going on. And we had the DJ add 2 additional speakers to make sure that it projected a little bit further and throughout the whole golf course.
Got it.
Yeah, that happened to me. I didn't hear the announcements. So by the time we got, I mean, it goes so fast. I didn't realize
it's
it.
so
It's
quick.
like I'm saying, you guys went on time. You guys were like this age group, that age group, and it was yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried to accommodate because we did realize that, but yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it too. I thought it was very well organized. The confusing thing, the other confusing thing I had was the bunny and the photo booth. It almost seemed like they could have been together, or I don't know why they weren't together. The bunny and the suit.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, it was still nice though to have both opportunities for pictures, but
You know, I think it went well just because
We
the photo
tried to
booth had like
spread it
a
out
long
more.
line. And if you
Yes.
would have stuck them together in that area, they would have been, well, what line are you in? You know? So I think it was
Yeah, we
where the
did try
bunny
to-
was at was very well. You could see him. You know, maybe that's
we
why.
did try to do that just because of the lines, because as is, typically the photo lines are one of the longest
Long,
things because everybody
yeah.
wants a picture with the bunny. So we tried to separate them so that we can just, it would help make
Get
the lines
best
not
both
as
worlds,
long and kind of
right.
get through a little bit
do
faster.
both. Yeah. But it was really good. I like that they had the ice cream truck because then I realized that apparently my kid knows who the ice cream man is. So I have my suspicions on that.
And the snow cones was nice because it was hot.
Yeah.
nice to have
Yeah.
So it was really, really well. You know, my kid thought it was heaven. So I have you guys to thank. She's still pretending to be a bunny. But yeah, you guys always, you know, every year everything gets better and
It gets bigger.
bigger and better. So you guys
Yeah.
just
What will we come
rock
up
it
with
all out.
next?
Thank
Huh?
you.
What will we come up with next? No, staff have done a great job. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I had a resident ask me about, she has a child that's special needs.
Mhm.
And so I didn't know if there's any programming for special needs on, you know, the sort of sports center side, or even I know the classes that are given at the Girl Scout
Clubhouse.
clubhouse. What do we have available for that population?
All of our programming currently inclusive of special needs, but there is no specific special needs programming that we do at this time. We usually refer them when we have our partners with Special Olympics and others like that come in and help us with different things. We refer parents to that if they're not looking to be in the inclusive part, but we don't have any current special needs program. We used to have a few different ones. We had hired out contractors for it, but we've lost all of them in the last couple of years. So there's not as many contractors out there, and we don't have the trained staff for it. Or in part, we don't have the population that signs up for it as much here at this point. But we are definitely inclusive. If you want to we'll find a way to bring your child into the program.
Sure. Okay. So, I mean, in terms of accommodations, those are there, right? But anything specific to any classes or anything that is kind of like what Leslie mentioned in terms of finding who can provide this and stuff. And is that something that's maybe on the horizon or has been discussed?
Actually, Leslie mentioned she's working with and trying to do a special needs section. We have, like I said, hired and had a couple of different special needs classes. We can probably go back and look at seeing if we can hire someone else again. But I don't know that we have any specific special needs classes currently.
No, nothing specific, but we do try to, just like you said, inclusive and try to accommodate as best as possible.
Sure.
Yeah. Even 2 years ago for the egg hunt and stuff, and something that we talked about for next year is bringing back, because we had some kids who were in a wheelchair, and 2 years ago we had a little table set up. And then we put the turf on the table and put the eggs on the table. So if you have some child in a wheelchair who can't bend over or can't do anything, at least they can actually grab it from the table from the wheelchair versus having a parent or somebody else having to pick it up for them and doing something like that. But aside from that, we just try to be inclusive.
Okay. Is there, or do you have the capacity, for example, to go back and, I don't know if the database or people that have registered and have a child that has special needs, do you have the capacity to identify those people and maybe reach out to them and say, hey, is there something specifically that you'd like to see, or something that any comments, any feedback that they have on any of the programming?
No, because I don't even think, even membership, I don't think it asks like, do you have a special ability or, a special need or anything. There's nothing that really asks that, so we
Right.
wouldn't. really
Actually, I
know.
don't believe we're actually allowed to ask that.
I was gonna say, I was just
Yeah,
gonna say that.
yeah, and that was my next question. What does ADA sort of, I know that it's maybe a sensitive area, right? But what does ADA require in terms of that kind of programming?
What's required is if we have anyone who wants to come up and identify that they need assistance, that we find a way to provide assistance for them.
Okay.
And we've done that at times. I know at the pool, we did it. We had a couple of deaf swimmers that we brought sign language folks in for and things like that. And then for a couple of, we had a league here for special needs baseball league for a little while that actually came out of Downey, but the overall parent organization stopped. So, but as we do, as we get someone who identifies that they need a special accommodation, we work with not only our own staff, but any city staff that we can to provide that.
Are you getting many requests for special needs?
But
Are you getting many requests from special needs
No.
athletes or
not really.
participants at the?
As I
sports center?
said, a lot of ours have come in and in looking for it, they ask us about stuff and I can share Special Olympics, who also shares other special needs programs with them. And they usually tend to go that way because we don't have the bigger population asking for it. So we don't have the classes for it. So if you are, you're going to be probably an individual in the special needs asking for the accommodation, which is fine, we'll accommodate, but a lot of the parents want to get a similar feel across the board.
And a lot of times when you have special needs, a lot of them that depend on the severity or depend on what the ability is of the child. A lot of times they have their own one-on-ones that come with them, so it does help with that too.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it'd be great if, something, discussion can be had in terms of what, I know that, I think demand for that kind of programming is probably what's going to dictate whether or not that's added, right? But I also feel that maybe some of these families that don't know that it's a possibility may not be voicing their feedback or opinion. This lady that asked me about that, she's actually got a group within the city that has more than 10 members that are part of that group. So that's why I was asking about that. So it'd be good to have a conversation around that and see what what possibilities or what options are available.
Okay, I actually did run into a lady at the egg hunt who there was about, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 kids, and she came and said like, oh, I have a group here who they're autistic, and so she was watching how we were lining all the kids up and sending them out, and so I said, okay. I said, then what we'll do is when we have your kids move to this side of the gate, so I said, I'm not going to send them all the way to the far end. So as the kids came in, we let all the rest of the kids in, and then we left her kids on the opposite side of the gate. So because basically their trigger was being around a lot of group of people and a lot of chaos. So we sent all the kids all the way down to one side, and then those 5 or 6 kids who were autistic, we left them closer toward the entrance of the gate. And when they said go, they were able to take their time and get the eggs on this side while all the kids were on the other side. And then they made their way over, but by that time the kids were satisfied and had enough eggs in their basket because they weren't as fast. They weren't as, they were just kind of doing their own thing. So again, we accommodate as best as possible. I know for me personally, I've gone through a lot of training on autism and different things just from my former city. So I've just learned a lot of different things along the way of how to do things or how to accommodate. And it worked. And she was very happy with it. And so it's going to work out.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I'm glad that that kind of opportunity is available. And again, discussion around that and maybe some options would probably be good to sort of think about going forward.
Yeah, it's good that you have the reactive.
Yeah.
You can be reactive to the situations, but I guess what Commissioner is asking is that we be proactive to the
Right.
situations and try to develop programs and put them out there, and you can advertise for them. And if we get a bites, or maybe even take account, because I don't know if it sounds to me like, Steve, like if somebody comes in with some asking for a program, you kind of refer them to a program. instead of saying we have a
So-
program?
We try to accommodate them within our program.
Right.
First, and then depending on what the ability is or disability is,
Yeah.
I was taught to say ability because everybody has a different ability
Sure.
versus a disability, so that's why I say
exactly.
it that way, but
Yeah.
depending on what their ability is, then we see how, if it's something that we can't do, because,
Yeah.
then we'll refer them somewhere else.
Right.
But if maybe working with Commissioner Pelayo here, his outreach program, if they have 10 people, maybe it's enough to start a
Or if
program just for them.
I'll put her in contact with you.
Yeah,
It might be the same,
It
the
might be the
same
same mom.
person.
and
Yeah,
'cause
it
all
might be the
kids go,
same
like, to
person.
Same school, and
Yeah.
she's been around, and so she actually had asked me, she's like, what else do you guys offer? What else, whatever?
Mhm.
And do you guys allow this? And I said, yeah, we'll allow it. Just, come in, just tell us what it is that you're looking for, or how can we best, serve you? And yeah, we'll be willing to work with you. Just
Sure.
let us know what your needs are. So it
Okay.
might be the same mom.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. And then just one more thing. You already mentioned that you've had about 100 responses to the survey.
Yeah.
And you have a sort of soft deadline of May 1st, or you had a soft deadline of May 1st.
Yeah, to
right?
kind of just take a look to see where we were at.
Yeah.
We want to see, okay, where are we? Okay, we have 100, but I think there's like 120 or somewhere on there. So, okay, well, we're waiting. So I started going through some of the data just to see what was there. We're waiting to see if we can get a little bit more so we can present it to you guys, just to let you know, hey, this is where we're at so far, and then give you like the total. We want to get through summer and then get everything together and get all the data gathered and give you like a good hope, because we want to get a decent amount.
Sure. No, that's
Consider
the
we have
point,
a-
right? We want to
100,000
hear
residents, so.
what people have to say. Is it something that's going to be sort of incorporated into the social media, I guess, person's
Yes.
responsibilities to try to engage people a little bit more and try to
Yes.
get to that? Okay.
Yeah, so now that she's on board, yes, definitely. We're going to be reposting it, the survey, the QR code and stuff like that. Like I said, and at the events, you'll see QR codes up so that people can fill it out. And
Okay.
I try to make it as simple as possible, but yet trying to get enough information. Because if
yeah.
you make them too long, people are just like, I'm not.
Yeah, they won't do anything.
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, I appreciate it. I look forward to the report, and hopefully we get some good information from it.
Did you have anybody at the JA opening day? I don't remember seeing anybody advertising that day. I mean, there was a ton of parents there.
I was actually going to
Yeah.
ask you the same thing
Yeah,
because
'cause there was a lot of parents there. I mean,
Yeah.
not,
We did
not
not
only
have
at the
that
field
day.
one, but at the snack shack as
Yeah.
well for the hot dogs. So
mhm.
that would have been a very good opportunity
we missed
to
that
reach
one.
out to so many parents.
Well, baseball and softball already started. Is there maybe some way that a staff member can go out and like maybe talk to the parents? Because games.
Saturday is going to be packed with
Yeah,
parents.
that and then games I think start next week. So
Next
maybe
week.
that's a
Yeah, next
a
week.
good opportunity,
Wow.
and that's a handful of people that
Oh, definitely.
that you can reach out to. But yeah, I was gonna ask. I was like, what about opening day? 'Cause I
Yeah,
didn't see.
we didn't. We missed that
Opening day
one.
was it rained but it was great.
Yeah.
It turned out great. But yeah. I just wanted to ask you about that because the games will start. So maybe that's another,
Yeah, no,
opportunity.
definitely next week. I'll get staff out there next week to.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
literally it's what every day.
Yeah.
A different division is every day.
Yeah.
So it's different crowd every day,
Right.
So is this going to be your responsibility or the marketing person's responsibility to?
Well, I'm
to
just
get out
making
to those
sure that it's-
programs
I'm making
and-
sure that it's
Get some
going and
traction,
it's-
right?
Yeah, I'm making sure it's going in, but the marketing person will make sure that it's being advertised
social media wise.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
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 We'll go that route. But as far as the actual QR.
But
codes,
marketing is just for social media, or is it just a
well,
blanket
it's-
marketing? So like,
it's blanket marketing,
Okay.
but this was the survey and all this stuff was done by another staff. So before this person even got on board,
Mhm.
so the marketing coordinator doesn't even have access to that staff's personal account that they made the whole thing on. So they're in this sense, for this survey, I should say, the marketing person will just be assisting by putting it on social media. Going forward, they'll be helping with creating additional surveys in the future, stuff like that. But for now,
Right.
we're going to keep current with the staff who
but I
have
mean,
already been doing
who
it.
would we contact if these ideas come up? So we could, like a reminder, like, I mean,
Oh, yeah, you
we
can let-
could
if
we
you
could
let
have
me know,
reminded
then I
you
can
about the
just put it-
JA program and
Yeah,
hey,
and
make
that
sure
was
somebody's
my-
out
that was-
there.
That was my thing. I should have reminded
Yeah.
them to put them out there, and I didn't. But for the most part, I tell them like, hey, make sure you guys get the QR codes, print them out, post them up, whatever. And I didn't even. It just so that I'll take total responsibility for that one. But we're trying to make sure that the rest of our events that we do have them out.
That's good.
Sorry, I didn't know where to put this, but at the last council meeting, I think Steve was there. One of the Holladale residents, I think her name was Kate Lee, mentioned the need for more youth and cultural programs in that area. And I think she was alluding to the Hollandale Regional Center. I know that you mentioned that, you're looking forward to actually having classes there. And I wanted to see if there's any more, any upcoming plans to increase the amount of classes. She mentioned that the programs, it would be great to see some of the programs that are here at the Southgate Park replicated over there.
At
Are
the
there
community
any?
center?
I
At
think
Glendale
so.
Community?
Yeah.
So right now, we're extremely short-staffed still on that side. We're actually, another coordinator's coming in and very, very soon, hopefully within the next week or two. But we're still very, very short on our hourly staff. So we've had people filling in kind of everywhere. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to start some of the program that we've been planning on starting until we get more staff on board. Once we get more staff on board, we'll be able to take some of the, like the top time classes, some of the classes there. That was the actual goal, was to already have them being offered there, but because of the shortage of staff, it hasn't been a possibility. So,
there was already plans to.
oh yeah, there's already plans to do programming out of that facility.
And we can't do the programming yet because while the park is open, the facility is not actually allowed to be open yet because it's still got temporary power from Southern California Edison.
Oh,
That's
We're
it.
still waiting on them. We can't do capacities or anything in there until Edison hooks up the final power. We're still waiting on them. That should hopefully happen next week, but this is Southern California Edison, so we don't know.
got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update.
All right. So can I get a motion to receive and file?
Make a motion.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, next item, number 4, proposed Parks and Recreation Commission meeting schedule for fiscal year 25, 26. I hope you guys all read through this. You have any comments?
Well, good evening, commissioners. Every year we come to you, we like to plan ahead. It's part of the thing that I think that is good for our commission. It's kind of unique probably to most of our commissions in the city, is that we actually come up with a working schedule of what we're going to talk about on a regular basis. And every year we come to you guys, kind of present you with the schedule and ask you if there's any other additional things that you want to add to it. That would be more of the, hey, we like this every year, or something we'd like to talk about. As Commissioner Palaio has talked about, obviously maybe we need to add some timeframes where we talk about the surveys that we put out. It's more of a data side survey that we can add to one of the dates in here so that we can present that. Maybe in the June one or something like that. No, July one, sorry.
Like June, there's no meeting.
June, whichever one I have. Who knows? July one, because there's no June meeting. We may add that in there, type of thing. But this is where we give you guys the opportunity to kind of take a look at where we're at. It also helps both for the community side, but for your side, when you can look down and go, hey, we're going to talk about, oh, Halloween's here. Oh, we'll talk about it then, instead of trying to bring it up in a month that, hey, you can look down and say, hey, we're going to talk about it eventually. And so this is your opportunity. If there's anything specific that you think about that should be on the scheduled side of it, if it's just one-time things like we always do already, feel free just to bring it up as part of the meeting. But if it's something that's more of an annual report or something that helps us remind that, hey, every March we should maybe talk about X, Y, Z, that's what we're looking at.
I do see the safety. I think that's something that we were trying to have kind of be an annual report back.
Oh, and we should probably include that in here because that should be the April report, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that would be, Miss Anna, if you add that in, the police department safety report.
Yeah.
That's the April.
April? Okay.
Right, they came
This
last
past-
month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they've been coming, we've had them every April, I think, and so that would be an appropriate one to keep on there. You're right, Liz.
But does it have to be only in April? Can we do a 6-month and a
Biannual.
annual?
And we can ask them for more if you would
Yeah,
like
'cause,
more. We don't want to overdo it.
Yeah,
but-
that's what I'm saying, 6 month, not every quarter, but at least maybe
You know.
6 month, every 6 month.
If you want to, we can see if,
Yeah.
okay, it'd be either September or November. But it's up to you guys. What would you think?
Let's see.
Probably
You said,
November.
no, you said April?
Yeah, it's April right
May,
now.
June, July, August, September. Yeah.
like November, if we want to see if they would come up with another report for us. Okay. Put those in, Anna, and to remind us. Any others?
I wanted to ask if, I don't know if it was the last meeting or the meeting before that, we discussed or briefly touched the Quimby fees. Is it possible to have someone come in and talk to us regarding a little more about the Quimby fees and how they apply to parks and the city?
They don't.
We can bring in maybe the new community development director or something. I can take a look at. I am not the expert on Quimby fees.
Yeah.
We can probably get someone, maybe by the June meeting, maybe, I'm sorry, by the July meeting possibly. I can check on that one. I don't know if that belongs on here because that would be a one-off.
A one-off, I was going to say.
Right.
That's more.
So,
that's
but
more of
Anna put a note
specialized-
that, let me at least talk to the Gabriel, who is our new,
Yeah. Gives us an opportunity to meet them also.
you can meet him and I
Can
can
you,
have him
can you
talk.
repeat that again for the future meetings? At the end
Yes,
of the-
absolutely.
So
Okay.
We can put.
But
that
we'll
on
talk
for-
about that. I'll
Specialized.
see if he's available in either July or August or wherever
Yeah.
in that time frame that he might come and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I know the safety was an important one for this commission. I mean, we get good reports on our weekly, our monthly meetings. There was something on the tip of my tongue. Anybody else have any other comments what I think about this?
I would guess the foundation meeting, I don't know if that has to be specified.
No, that wouldn't be in here.
Okay. Got it.
Okay,
We can always add it.
I was going to say,
later.
we can always add it later, right?
Commissioner Flores, it could be added later, so
Okay,
go ahead.
sounds good. Okay, so if nothing else is added at the time besides safety, let's make a motion to receive and file.
It's a motion to approve, right?
Oh, motion to approve, okay.
I so move.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, next up, number 5, annual partner organizations reports. Steve, is this you again?
It is
It
in
is.
general. I don't know if we have any of our partner organizations here tonight with us. And in general, the commission in past years, way back in time now, we used to have much more oversight on our different partner organization groups. But at this point, we just ask them to present to us a yearly statement of what they've been doing. In your packet, you have them from JA. Are we missing Anna? Any? We have them all? Okay.
AWSO, Aztecs, JAA,
Right.
Aquatics, they were all here.
Right. So they're all here, and those are our major ones. Our art association is not really active at this time, and so we don't include them in it. But these are their reports detailing their stuff. It is not written by us by any means, so the opinions in there are of their own in that. It seems that our different partner organizations are still doing well throughout this process. AYSO is rebuilding after COVID. I think they took the biggest hit of any of them. They had the hardest time rebuilding, but they are rebuilding back
And
up.
they seem the most positive, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. They are rebuilding back up. The football program is still having issues finding a permanent place to be in life. While we would hope that they can find something permanent, it's more of a discussion with LAUSD, and they're not always the best partner.
And do they have a plan right now? I know they're advertising for signups and all this stuff. And
Right, they have meetings set up with different schools. So I know they've been working with them. We've talked to them a couple times. We met with them about a month ago. Right, Tina and I met with them on the overall
Yeah,
program.
they mentioned in the report.
Right.
You're helping.
And so we've been helping them and trying to get them through these processes, but it has not been an easy process through LAUSD. As the JA.
You're not Henry Gonzalez, right?
What?
You're not Henry Gonzalez.
The JA, as we saw by opening day, we have a large participation there, lots of kids, lots of parents. The parade actually looked bigger this year to me, so we had a good turnout.
Yeah, it was, even with the rain.
Even with the rain, and we had a
Yeah.
good turnout. Luckily, the rain kind of stopped right as we started, so that was a good thing. And so
Yeah,
they
it sure was.
they seem to be moving fine, and we're doing well with that.
Did we resolve the issues with the basketball courts? I know that came up last week.
Yeah,
Our last
all
meeting.
of that. Yeah, so we're back to normal stuff between them. They're running their general seasons. They haven't grown, but they haven't shrunk really either. Lately, they hit the COVID period, went down a little, and are continuing forward. It's not the heydays of the 1990s. Sorry, there were a heyday there. I know that's before most of you. But
You've assigned somebody to go to their meetings?
yeah, James goes to all of them.
James goes, okay.
He takes
And I
care of
noticed in here, they gave a nice shout out to you and James for helping them through these tough times that they had with miscommunication with courts and stuff like that. So I appreciate that.
So-
Thank you.
Yeah, Tina and James have had quarterly meetings with them. They've been sitting down with them, going over schedules, doing things like that. So I know that's working. And then the Aquatics Club, as Leslie noted, they're full swing going. They've got different events. They've been actually helping out the aquatic side as events come up. They've volunteered to help. I know they help every year for the world's largest swim lesson, and they helped part of the Easter Fest, and so they're going well too. So
Yeah, also very
Across the
positive.
board.
Thank you.
pretty good on the partner organizations.
So from the things in here, like I said, there was of course the Aztecs, and the J had some negative comments about certain things. Like you just said, you're working through them. We're trying to work with the Aztecs to try to get them a home at least. But do you know what would happen if they didn't get a home of some sort? Is there any accommodations at the park somehow to get them a field? I know they'd tear up the diamonds if they did, but
There are no current spaces within our Parks and Recreation system for them to play. Remembering that their play takes place in September through December.
Yeah.
So you need lights for all of it. That's always been their biggest problem, is they need lights for everything.
Yeah.
And that's why they have to end up at the schools. And there's no lighted fields anywhere. All of those are either our regular baseball diamonds, but there's no football fields out there in this time frame. So
and Legacy is just not available to them.
Legacy's not, we tried to put them over there for a while, but our legal documentation with Legacy does not allow football.
What do you mean?
The two softball fields and one baseball field there, that
Yeah.
is the memorandum of understanding between the city and LAUSD specifically says they can only be used for baseball and softball.
Oh, I see. So they don't have a football field.
They have
They have a football field,
Legacy
yeah.
has their own football stuff, but they have not allowed the Aztecs on it. We tried for about 2.5, 3 weeks. We put them over there practicing on the baseball, softball fields because we had time and they were emptier. And LAUSD's legal department called us and said no. So we had to pull them off of there.
Got it. And can you remind me how the fee came about? I know they mentioned the 20-something $1,000 fee that used to be waived, I guess, when Henry Gonzalez negotiated the use in tandem of us allowing LAUSD to use our facilities for free.
There was never actual a written negotiation. I think Henry and the school board worked out their own stuff. Henry was great at this thing. But each year, what has changed is that the LAUSD now requires that the Aztecs book and rent their own fields, and they will not allow the city of Southgate to do it for them. For many years, Anna will attest to us going through the process that I actually used to show up at LAUSD headquarters and pull the permits for the Aztecs. That's no longer allowed. We can't pay for them. We can't do that. It can't be our insurance that covers them. It has to be the youth football program. And so while we actually paid for the fields for them as a city or reimburse them for that, the process is still straight through the Aztecs. with no inclination to the city.
So the city still pays, you guys reimburse them.
Yes.
And how much is that?
Last year, I think we paid about 13,000. That's going to be top of the head, so it's not exact,
About
but somewhere
the
around there.
season?
We paid, whenever they had a fee for lights or fields and the whole thing, we reimbursed them for all of that.
The city reimburses. And so are there other things that you guys pay for?
There are other fees that the city itself didn't pay for. Last year was an anomaly as we tried to get lights over at Big Hollydale. The city paid for all the lighting there as an experiment. We're not going to be able to do that again. But we paid for all of those. And then on a side part, the group came to council and asked about scoreboards because LAUSD was now charging them for scoreboards and also charging them, not allowing them to sell food at their games, which had been a staple of theirs for years and years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They would always have a snack bar that helped pay for the officials and stuff like that. Well, the conference requires a scoreboard. Southgate High School would no longer allow them to use the scoreboard. And so they had to go out and buy a scoreboard. And then the Youth Commission, along with some outside sponsors that were assisted by our council and park staff, we found them, helped pay for the scoreboard for them. They bought their own. And then the officials, I think, were part of the same thing, that some sponsors helped pay for some of those too.
And then you guys help pay for some of the referees, right?
Well, that's the officials.
Yeah, the
So
officials.
some of that, right, that was, so there's been, but those weren't through city funds. Neither of
were-
those sections were through city funds. Those were through
Individuals in the city.
individuals, sponsorships, and other things that Youth Commission that we were able to help cobble together with them.
And didn't you also cough up some donations?
And we got I'm the chair of the Youth Commission, so I got them involved there, and we were able to give them a little over $2,000, I think, for it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight that because I think you guys have been bending over backwards for this program, and it seems like and some of the council members have even put out money out of your own pocket, so much time trying to negotiate with LAUSD. I think it's very unfortunate that they haven't reciprocated the amount of help the parks provides by, having some of these facilities for their teams. I think it's very unfortunate.
It's wrong what they do. I mean, they take so much land from the city to build so many schools, and then they don't allow us to use it.
Well,
It's-
the facilities
crazy.
itself, it's a great help for them, the aquatics, the baseball fields, the gym during COVID. I remember we provided free use, I think even during the school breaks for the students, the athletes to come and use. And I commend, our city for doing that, but at the same time, it seems like it's just take, and not give. And so I just wanted to highlight the amount of support that I feel like the city has given this program, because I don't see that in this report. And I think it's very unfortunate because it has been a lot, and it hasn't been easy to keep this program going. I do see that it seems like they're having a hard time maintaining this program going. But I also want to make sure that the public knows that there has been support from the city, that there has been support from parks to try and do as much as possible. And considering how much you all already do, and I see it. I see the effort that you all put, and I commend you for continuing the effort, because it doesn't really look like it's appreciated, at least in my view.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have a few comments. Just actually, I would have a question for you, Steve. In terms of the Aztecs, for example, what do you see the city's role or Parks and Rec's role in that? Because it is a sort of separate entity from the city and the park. Like, where do you see your role in terms of helping them out and continuing to advocate on their behalf?
Well, as is noted for all of our partner organizations are separate entities. None of them are city sponsored per se. They are all separate entities, whether it's the JA, the Aqua Club, any of them have their own 501c3 and their own processes to go through. I think with all of them, including the Aztecs, our job is to support them, to try our best as city officials to connect them with the resources that they need. And in that part, what we have done on more than one occasion is been on the phone with the school board members when Gil Hurtado, Josh, and myself met with Jackie Goldberg to try to get them to move forward with allowing us to use some of the fields and stuff. We've gone down there and paid for stuff. So we've done different things. That's part of our support part, is to advocate for them when we can, as far as we can. But like any other group, we can only do as much as, that's available to a city. We can't overly advocate for them because we're a city, we can't, go up and individually politicize or do any of that. Our job's to see what we can give them, try to accommodate what we can, which we do constantly. They're currently practicing over at Hollydale Regional on a regular basis, right? Not one of their places they were supposed to. They were supposed to be at the high schools, but until those happen. So we try to keep accommodating as we can, and we try to support where we can. And if that means a few phone calls, that's great. We'll make those. We'll talk to the principal. We'll talk to, school board members, or we'll talk to the district and try to get them through the process. And we've done all that, but that's where we belong in this.
And I don't know, but other cities, they have youth football, right? And do you know if they practice at the respective high school, for example, like Bell or Huntington Park or some of the other local cities?
I am not sure where and how they do theirs. I know there's a difference if you're in LAUSD as opposed to if you're outside of it. The difference in Southgate normally is that we're one of the few cities that has stuff that LAUSD wants. We're different, right? Because usually most cities are calling up the schools and going, can we use your baseball field for adult softball, or can we use your basketball gyms? We have all those. And in fact, our schools here call us to use the baseball fields, the tennis courts, the softball fields, the swim stadium, cross country.
Sure.
We provide all that, which is different than most other places.
Is it possible, and I know we've touched on this before, but since we have those assets that LAUSD is looking for, and they seem to be playing hardball with us, I mean, they use the auditorium fairly often, and we comp them for that. Is it possible to start maybe playing hardball with them and doing something? It's unfortunate that the kids are suffering because the adults can't get along, basically. And so I think that, to your point, since we have something they want, I feel there's leverage there, and I think that we might be able to do something about that.
Well, there's some truth to that leverage. The problem is LAUSD is such a big entity that for them to say, their answer has been usually to all the Southgate schools, sorry, I guess you don't get to use them anymore. And so what we don't want to do has been as the Parks and Rec and as the city, we don't want to punish the high school, the other kids. We don't want to punish the school kids for the lack of support we're not getting from the administration. Because that's where it would go. Because our experience, at least that we have found, is that if we were to say, hey, you either have to pay for our facilities or you can't use them, LAUSD wouldn't come to the table. They would just say, okay, sorry. And they would tell each school, figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate that they would respond that way, because I mean, the point here is to develop youth via sports and these kind of programs, right? And it's unfortunate that they would do that. So just kind of in reading the report, some of the reasons why they were kicked out of Southgate High School or some of the other places, is there any truth to the allegations that were presented that you know of?
That we know of? No, my
Comment.
knowledge of the Aztecs for all the years I've been here is that they are not the group that's leaving messes in places. Laura's been very good at that across the board. She kind of controls the whole thing. And so I don't think they left those messes. I think part of what came up, is what we found in the early days when this first came up as an issue, was that the Aztecs would play every Saturday. And on Monday, they would find trash and beer bottles and other things that were possibly out there, right? And so the school would blame them. But what they failed to add into the equation was that there was a Sunday rental of men's soccer in there.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
who do you blame? Is it the youth football group or the men's soccer? I'm not there for either one. Maybe men's soccer, but someone else did something. But it would leave me to ask at least the questions.
sure. Yeah, and those are the same questions that, basically were coming up, because it just, I'm not familiar with the history that the Aztecs have with Southgate High School, and I know the report says that for 20 some years they operated there without any issues, and then all of a sudden there's issues, they get kicked out, and really without any just cause, I would say. So again, because they're not necessarily part of the city, I know it's tricky because we can't get involved as much. At the same time, they are youth that are from Southgate and they attend Southgate schools, and I would think that because of that, more USD than Southgate would come to the table and be a little more reasonable with regards to that. So I think that just keep advocating for that, and keep pushing for that, and maybe getting some of the parents involved. And I know that I believe there was new leadership within this area for LAUSD. So maybe that can help out with that. And it's unfortunate, but let's not give up on this, and let's see what we can come up with. I think we can be creative and leverage our assets in some way. So
I think you're trying, Steve. Thank you.
So and then just in general, I took a look at the reports, and I know we've discussed the oversight, and you just touched on it a bit. I like the report that AYSO provided, the aquatics. They were pretty detailed and lengthy, and I think that should set the standard for all of the partner organizations, because we really just got a one-page report from the JAA, and there's a lot of questions that perhaps or a lot of information that's missing there that I'm not familiar with the JAA as some of the other commissioners are, but that'd be great to be able to have a report where it details their vision statement, philosophy, and all of those kind of things. So if it's possible, we can request that and not tell them how to sort of run their organization, but ask for a more detailed report to better inform us of what's going on, update us, and that kind of stuff.
And if there is a kind of a standardization of some of the stuff, we can maybe look at that. It might be easier for us if we can allow them to put a commentary on the back half, but if they answered the question of, hey, we signed up. No. You'll get asked later. But if there's a point where we want to say, hey, for 24, 25, we had 1,000 kids in basketball, and 1,200 in baseball, and 800 in this and 300 in swimming, whatever that is. If we want to get some of those basic facts, like you said, as the beginning of every report, that might help standardize a little, and then allow them the commentary on the rest of it.
Sure.
That helps you get some of the information you're looking for, how many kids are playing, how many teams are there, whatever that is. We get a little of that to start. That could be a single page fill that out, and then allow the groups just to provide their own commentary at the end.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, yeah, more of the quantitative stuff to know more or less, what the program's bringing in terms of number of residents that play, the leagues, and it gives us a better idea of what sort of their needs are and requirements, and it gives us a better opportunity to help them down the line should the need arise. So I appreciate if you guys can follow up with them and kind of request something like that. That's pretty much it.
Any other comments? Okay, can I get a motion to receive and file?
Make the motion.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, on to director's report.
I'll let Tina hit a lot of them. I'm just going to push Memorial Day is May 26th. So,
24th, yeah.
24.
Saturday, the 24th.
24.
okay, that day. Memorial Day is actually the 26th.
The 26th, yes.
Yes, it is.
Memorial Day is the 26th. We will be having our ceremony on the 24th in front of the fountain.
Quick question. Have you gotten in contact with the Kiwanis? I know we were talking about it on our Monday meeting, whether or not you guys would need some of the youth to attend and or volunteer. So you-
Yes, we would.
Okay. If you can get a hold of them. I
did.
don't know if
Yeah.
you trust me to be the middle person, but
Yes, we would love them, the Girl Scouts and all of that
awesome.
and stuff like that. So that's happening on the 24th for Memorial Day, which is the 26th. Tina will go over upcoming events. We've hit most of them already and stuff. And the other things that are coming up are in June, the Tweedy Street Fair, first weekend in June. But with that, we're kind of double dipping that weekend. The Men's Health Fair that has been put on by Janice Hahn's office for the last couple of years will actually be taking place the same Saturday as the Tweedy Mile. So feel free to come out for that. They have different booths and sponsors for men's health things. They have haircuts. They have job fair stuff. They have all sorts of things. Janice Hahn's office actually provides 2 or 3 free food trucks that show up and provide free food across the board on them. So that event's taking place there too.
That's going to be June 6th, 7th?
That's Saturday.
When? June 7th. Yeah, okay.
And then before we meet again, we'll have 4th of July. And so, as always, you'll get your invites for that, but we'll have our annual 4th of July show taking place at the park. And that's all I've got.
Thanks, Glenn. So yeah, Mom Prom went well. And then last weekend, not only was it JAA opening day, but it was also the opening reception for the art exhibit for playgrounds or Jugamos. And so that seemed to go well. And they had games and such out here. It was fun playing tetherball. I haven't done that in a long time. So it was, they had just different games out there for people to experience and play as it went with the theme of, Jugamos, whatever. And then we have let's see what else. Upcoming, we have Special Olympics on Saturday the 31st, and that's going to be basketball. And then June 11th, we're having a newer event. It's a summer kickoff event, so it's going to be something different. Have some, all the departments will be represented, or divisions will be represented from our departments, and they'll be passing information and such, and just some games and activities for families to come out and just kick off the summer. And then the pool has their summer kickoff at the pool on June 14th. So yeah, that's just some of the stuff that didn't get mentioned.
And what's happening on Saturday?
What?
What's happening on Saturday?
Oh, duh, it's right here, and I forgot to mention it. It's right here. The Spring Fit, hello, sorry. This Saturday at the competitive wave is at 8 a.m. The recreation wave is at 9 a.m. We have over 900 and something runners registered, almost 1,000 runners registered. are pre-registered for the event. So yesterday, today, tomorrow are the packet pickups over at the sports center. So everyone's excited and ready for it, ready for that 1 a.m. start time on Saturday morning. So yeah, so there's a lot of work that goes into it, and the staff do a great job of making it happen. And yeah, literally 1 a.m. Yeah. So yeah, so bring out the family, even if you didn't register. There's plenty of activities, jumpers. We have a huge amount of vendors in the little vendor fair area. I think they had to adjust it. I don't know how many times because I think they're up to 15, I believe, different vendors that'll be out there, from Raising Cane's to Bimbo to like Aztecs football, and all the different groups that'll be out there. Just being supportive. So it's going to be fun and warm.
And they sponsor?
So Bimbo is one of our is our main sponsor. They give a large amount of money for this event, and that's why they're on the back of our shirts as part of the sponsorship. But there's quite a few groups out there that sponsor. Tampico will be out there. Trying to think who else. Like I said, there's about 15 different vendors or groups that will be out there.
That's awesome.
So a lot of good raffles as well. Full bikes and water guns and like some nice stuff. So looking forward to it. This year we added some fanny packs as well. So everybody who participates and registered, we have some nice little fanny packs. One that's clear, one that's not clear, like a runner's thing. So again, every year they try to enhance and add something new and just change things up. So I know as the people have been picking up their packet pickup and they're able to grab either their clear fanny pack or the black one that's runner's belt, and they're just like, oh, they love it. They love it. And it's funny, a lot of the younger kids like the clear one, and the older folks like the other one. So it's kind of weird how you just see the difference. I'm excited.
And on the park side, in preparation for Saturday's event, staff have been working on the decomposed granite pathways at Southgate Park. You will see more delineators and yellow tape here and there, especially Southgate Park. That means we're reseeding in anticipation of the summer season. So we're getting ready for summer. It's a big job, especially a lot of irrigation work.
Yeah, yep.
Thank you.
And one more. May 18th is a golf.
No, you were done. Sorry.
Like,
Thank you. All right. Do we have any requests for items for future agendas?
Yes, so just to restate the Quimby fees, be great for us to get some knowledge from our new community development addition to the city. So that would be great. And then I had one more thing to ask regarding the survey. Is that both in English and Spanish, or is it just in English?
right now it's in English. I haven't sent it over to Anna, but I did have a request for it to be made into Spanish. So I'll send that over to you next week, Anna.
All right.
Job security.
Any more items? for
Just
future
Google
agendas?
it, right? Google
Any
Translate.
more items for future agendas?
Like a report.
Yeah. Anything you want for next week's meeting?
You know what? I actually just had a question for everybody, actually. Oh, sorry. Did everybody get the message or the email that was sent out from a resident? No, I don't think you did. I don't think you were in it. Did everybody else get that email?
I don't think so. What was it
Which one?
regarding?
It was
I
regarding.
get a lot of emails.
Oh, let me see. It was May 7th. It was regarding it was titled Outside Rookie Clinics.
Outside what?
Outside Rookie Clinics. It was sent out
Yes.
yesterday.
From Cindy, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch bases on that. I wasn't sure where it was going to get brought up. I don't know.
I think it was brought up. I asked Steve if he addressed it, and he said yes.
Oh, you
He said that
did?
Tina's and James is now attending the meetings.
Oh, okay.
he's gonna-
Yeah,
he's
so there
gonna
was
be-
this email sent out, this to clarify some comments from the April 10th meeting from Division 1. You didn't get that email?
No.
No? Okay, well then maybe it didn't get addressed. We got it. Let me see. Maybe I could forward it to you?
Sure, send it to Anna.
Oh, Anna.
Send everything to Anna.
I think it was mentioned in the report. that they submitted, right?
Yeah.
About staff having trouble, or board members having trouble talking through staff because of the.
I think that's a different one, right?
Yeah, because I think it was the clarification of outside courts, practicing
it
indoor
is.
courts.
Yeah, I got that one.
Back in 2023, as you can see from the email below, the youth classes was given, and she attached an email back from 2018 from Ian. So I think she just wanted to clarify that, because I think based off our last conversation, you had said no, that the JA didn't have the indoor courts for the basketball.
Since it's not on a agendized part of this, it would probably just be better to send it to Anna and then we'll take.
So
a
we
look
could
at it.
address it for the next.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can either
okay.
address it, or you can send it to Anna, and if there's something on there I need to clarify, we can send out an email to the commission.
Okay, so we'll just put it on to the next meeting if we could do that. So
Well,
we could address.
it doesn't quite work, it's just asking for a clarification, so we don't write a whole report on something
Oh,
like
okay.
that. That's a time thing. So if you would send it to Anna, we can get you guys back answers on it.
Gotcha. Okay,
Okay.
I'll just forward it. to-
So when I asked you earlier about that being taken care of with the JA, you didn't understand what I was saying then?
Well, they're not on the email, so it's
So
just the
that's what I was about to
commissioners.
say. I don't think they're in
Yeah.
the email, so I don't
It's
think
just
he
the
knew
commissioner.
Well, I
about
mean,
it.
we talked about it last meeting about that miscommunication,
have-
and then when I asked you,
We have worked, no, I don't know anything about that email, but like I said, Tina and James have been meeting quarterly with them. They met with them only a couple weeks ago.
right,
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah,
some of
we
the issues
changed
that
that.
were had with subordinate staff. So now James is taking over as the liaison, and we meet quarterly to just help mitigate some of those issues. And
and James is at every meeting.
yes, and then
Okay.
so every meeting they come forward, if there's anything that they have for us, they address it. If we have anything for them, we address it.
And James has been here long enough that he understands
Oh, yeah.
what we've been dealing with. 'Cause,
Oh, no, definitely. And
But
I mean,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't think, Alan, it was regarding the staff. I think it was just clarification on what Steve had
basketball
said
courts, yeah.
on last meeting, because Steve
Right,
had
but
said that there was
it also
no.
mentioned that staff members have quit because of the
Oh.
lack of communication and the lack of, pointing fingers this way. So now that, I mean, it was mentioned that Tina and James were on top of things now.
They are,
So
right.
that's
Yes,
I was
that
just making
is-
that comment.
That is true.
Okay.
Okay, but I'll forward the email to Anna, so you guys are aware of it, and just touch bases on what Alan was asking. Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, if nothing else, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We are adjourned.
Oh, were they here for some?